Hey, good morning or good day to all of you guys. This is going to be a replay between the Den team and Rotterdam and Sushi on Avalanche Island. No, on Avalanche, excuse me. Now this replay is we have Plaza Sushi and Rotterdam spawning on the north side of the map. Meanwhile, we have the Den team Rosenkill and Thomas G spawning on the south side of the map. Now this is a true mirror match, so we are going to have Night Elf and Undead. And for those of you who have not seen or have not played against a Night Elf Undead combination, and I'll let you know what to expect. Pretty much, Undead likes to go Fiends and Night Elf likes to go Huntresses. Once the Night Elf player gets up to 50 food, they are going to stay within the 50 food cap and just start pumping gold to the Undead player who will already be teching and producing better units. Statues, perhaps some destroyers, but that seems to be the main strategy that I've seen going around with Night Elf Undead. This combination has been going on for quite some time, especially with the power of the Priestess of the Moon and the True Shot Aura. Undead player usually going Fiends, so very common strategy, and we should see how that plays out today. Now we have on the Den side, currently he has 2 ghouls and collecting wood. He has his Altar of Darkness completed, Death Knight coming out, and is currently building a Fiend. Now, on this map, Avalanche, the 2 points of interest are the 2 fountains right here in the center, and the 2 expansions on the left-hand side. Besides that, there isn't really much to creep. So, and because of this small area right here, if you look at the mini map right here this is where all the action will take place, and this makes the map seem smaller than it truly is. So units will be crossing each other very often and very frequently. Now, we see both priestesses and bottoms going across the map, trying to harass the other person's Death Knight. Both players know that Huntresses are probably not yet up and coming from the Priestess of the Moons, so the Priestess of the Moon not able to do any real creeping by herself. Now here we have Rotterdam's Priestess of the Moon going ahead and trying to distract Rosenkill's Death Knight. Meanwhile, we have Thomas G going ahead and distracting Plaza Sushi's Death Knight as well. So both players trying to do the same exact thing, both players trying to counter with the same exact tech, and this is what we get. Now judging from the early part of the game, it looks as though Rotterdam is able to distract better than Thomas G is currently. Death Knight gets off the first kill and pushes back the Priestess of the Moon. Priestess of the Moon is now bringing in a Wisp as well. And we have a quick death coil because we do not want that Wisp detonating. Meanwhile, we have the Death Knight down to 140 hit points, really trying to get some experience, and is able to get an additional kill. Back up north, we have the Priestess of the Moon. Death Knight still has a good amount of hit points, most likely able to take out that last Troll Berserker without any interference from the Priestess of the Moon. So no kill stealing really by any side. Priestess of the Moon was able to, however, kill a skeleton. Meanwhile, over the Priestess of the Moons are both healing as well at the fountains, and the benefit of the Night Elf player being able to hide at the fountains. Now we have the Death Knight coming into the fountain as well, perhaps to get some healing, as he is low on health, to make sure that there is not a Priestess of the Moon who is currently hiding. Now Rotterdam here makes a mistake. He is not close enough to the Fountain of Hell to actually gain any of its benefits while he's hiding there. So remember to check to make sure that you are getting the benefit of the fountain if you're going to be camping at the fountain. Small fight in between here, and Rotterdam's Night Elf or Priestess of the Moon getting pushed back, forced to run back. Now with the Priestess of the Moon decides to go ahead and just hide, and doesn't want to get focused on, and by hiding next to the Huntresses gives True Shot Aura to the Huntresses. So even if it's a 3-on-3 fight with the True Shot Aura bonus, and Thomas G's Night Elves are better. Huntresses are better. Now we have the Huntresses coming back down. The Priestess of the Moon just healed at the Moon Wells. Good use of Moon Wells. And here we have just the early part, both players trying to amass, both players doing the early game, trying to see if they can cause the other player to make any mistakes. And both players lose a single Huntress, and Plaza Sushi is able to get to level 2. Now, this map on Avalanche really forces the players to really stick together and play together. Since the map is so small, most likely you will be able to find, most likely you will come across your opponent very easily, and if you come across both of them, you can get 2v1 and you can lose your units very, very quickly, and there's really nowhere to run on this map. There's a lot of tight corridors, trees that get in your way, and there's really no place you can really run off to easily.
A player's forces are under attack.
Couple detonating wisps to make sure that experience is not given to Rosenkill's Death Knight. Now we have both players creeping this red camp. Now, with range units and huntresses, which are also range units, you are able to creep this fountain faster than you would normally. Even if your heroes are only level 1, you can focus fire down units and together, and thereby negating the power of the fountain. Both teams doing the exact same thing right now, both trying to focus down those units. Both players are going to get, Priestess of the Moon is going to get to level 2 as well, and we have the Rotterdam from the north coming down to try to stop the creeping from the fountain. Now, this owl tech from Thomas G is going to be very, very powerful, and you'll see this throughout the game. Since the map is so small and there's so many trees, you don't really have direct line of sight. So having a flying scouting unit that is invulnerable, that can follow your opponent, is just pays off in leaps and bounds here. So go ahead and we'll go ahead and see this owl following behind. Burrowing fiends, no good. Huntresses that are trying to hide are negated. We have a quick Frost Nova trying to catch any escaping units, and now we have the Huntresses and the fiends kind of pincered between the undead and the Night Elf of Purple of Rotterdam and Plaza Sushi. Now, Rotterdam gets a little bit too close and is now forced to run away. And very important to keep 2v1, or to try to keep together on this map. Another Owl Scout summoned, and we'll be following around trying to keep track of the units. Huntress is just running back and forth. Priestess of the Moon down here. Now, if you look at both Night Elf players are still at Tree of Life, and both are sitting below the 50 food cap. So that, and exactly what they're doing, they're feeding their extra gold to the undead player so that they can tech and produce the statues and the necessary power units. Now we have a fight going on over on the left side, and Plaza Sushi is forced to run away. It does lose a fiend, loses a second fiend, and those two fiends and losses this early in the game really do add up. We do have a Tree of Life being built by the expansion here. Now these expansions, Night Elf wanting to get the expansions up, wanting to be able to feed additional gold to the undead player. Now we have this creep camp. Now, as a human and orc player, I always dislike fighting this orc camp. That frost armor just slows my units so much that creep camp seems almost impossible and almost seems like a red camp. Now with fiends and huntresses and range, you are able to take that without being affected by the frost armor as much. They just have additional quote-unquote armor, so that they're a little bit harder to take down. Now we saw that the purple team undead player was trying to get into this, destroy these rocks to get into the top, but because of that owl scout, he does not want to get in there because he knows that he may get trapped and double teamed and focused down inside. So here we have a 2v2 battle, and skeletons being summoned by a Rosenkill, and is forced to teleport out as he is surrounded by huntresses. Thomas G also forces the teleport out. So both teams doing fairly well right now, and I'm going to go ahead and pause this game and right now.